Ferrari is finally beginning to see a glimmer of hope amid the enormous pressure of the 2026 Formula One season. After months of criticism for lacking power compared to Mercedes and starting to fall behind McLaren and Red Bull, the Maranello-based team has reportedly set the launch date for its new engine, which many believe could become the turning point of the season. However, behind that positive news, a new threat has emerged that could potentially destroy Ferrari's major project for 2027. Lewis Hamilton has started openly revealing Ferrari's weaknesses. Charles Leclerc continues to push beyond the limits of the car, while the FIA is reportedly considering new regulations that could eliminate one of Ferrari's most important technical weapons. Will the engine upgrade planned for Spa truly be enough to save Ferrari from its performance crisis while also protecting their big ambitions for the future? Let's discuss. Ferrari has finally locked in a clear timeline for introducing its latest engine during the 2026 Formula One season. According to several recent reports, the new power unit is scheduled to make its debut at Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium, which will mark the 10th race of the season. The upgrade is not just a minor refinement, but a significant change to the internal combustion section, or endothermic engine, which has long been considered Ferrari's biggest weakness compared to its main rivals. Ferrari's biggest issue this season has been painfully obvious on the straights. The SF26 is reportedly still down by around 30 horsepower compared to Mercedes. That deficit has made it extremely difficult for Ferrari to compete in top speed battles and acceleration out of high-speed corners. Even when the car delivers excellent balance and downforce, the lack of power continues to prevent Ferrari from fighting on equal terms with its rivals. Hamilton has become the most vocal figure addressing the issue. He openly stated that Ferrari desperately needs an engine upgrade because, in his opinion, aside from the power deficit, the SF26 could actually be one of the best cars on the current grid. Hamilton's comments are particularly interesting because they contrast with the more cautious approach taken by Frederic Vasseur, who has consistently avoided discussing the engine's performance problems in detail. Hamilton even compared the SF26 to the Ferrari SF7OH from the past, a car that also suffered from similar power-related weaknesses. According to Hamilton, Ferrari's chassis platform is actually highly competitive, but the lack of engine power is preventing the team from unlocking its full potential. This situation naturally creates additional pressure for Hamilton. His time with Ferrari will not last forever. Ferrari still holds a contract option for the 2027 season, but a massive partnership like Hamilton and Ferrari will only survive if it produces real victories on track. On top of that, Ferrari also has several promising young drivers who could be promoted to the main team at any moment. Even so, Hamilton's performance in Miami was actually quite solid. He managed to maintain a strong race pace despite suffering significant damage following an incident while attempting to overtake Franco Colapinto. The stewards immediately ruled the incident a racing incident. Despite the aerodynamic damage to his car, Hamilton was only around half a second per lap slower than Charles Leclerc, a gap considered very reasonable given the condition of his car. Meanwhile, Charles Leclerc continues to receive major praise for his performances this season. Sky Sport Italia commentator Carlo Vanzini even described Leclerc as the only non-Mercedes driver capable of fighting in what he called Mercedes' championship battle. That statement highlights just how difficult Leclerc's current situation truly is. He has to battle against cars with significantly superior engine power, yet he still manages to remain competitive in many races. Vanzini also pointed out Ferrari's extremely cautious attitude when discussing engine issues. While Hamilton openly talks about the lack of power, Vasseur continues to avoid detailed discussions regarding ADUO and Ferrari's potential engine upgrades. That has sparked growing speculation. There is a possibility that Ferrari is worried their upgrade package will not be significant enough to close the gap to Mercedes. There is also speculation that Ferrari does not want to attract the FIA's attention before the official decision regarding the ADUO system is announced. So far, the calculations regarding the additional advantages Ferrari could receive are still not entirely clear. Previously, Ferrari was believed to be eligible for ADUO benefits of up to 4% through 2 extra development tokens, a higher budget cap allowance, and approximately 30% more dyno testing time. All of those resources are considered crucial because Ferrari is planning to redesign several key components of their power unit. However, the situation is now starting to change. Even Toto Wolff is reportedly not fully convinced about the FIA's evaluation direction, because performance data between engines remains extremely difficult to analyse accurately. FIA representative Nicolas Tombazis stated that the main evaluation will only take place after the Canadian Grand Prix, a stop-and-go circuit considered ideal for measuring power differences between engines. Meanwhile, Charles Leclerc once again became the centre of attention after the dramatic incident at the end of the Miami race. Many initially criticised the mistake that caused him to spin and receive a 20-second penalty. However, several analysts actually defended Leclerc's decision. The Monegasque driver was reportedly attempting an extreme strategy to keep his podium hopes alive under pressure from Oscar Piastri. Leclerc aggressively used energy harvesting to recharge the battery as much as possible while trying to maximise overtake mode on the final laps. The problem was that Ferrari simply did not have enough power reserve to safely defend the position. Leclerc was reportedly around 0.3 of a second slower than Piastri, who was running on older tyres. That situation forced Leclerc to drive far beyond the car's normal limits. As a result, the pressure on the tyres and the car's temperatures became too high, ultimately leading to the costly mistake. Even so, many observers do not see the incident as purely a driver error, but rather as a consequence of Ferrari's current situation, which constantly forces Leclerc to perform perfectly in order to compensate for the lack of engine power. Formula Passion analyst Federico Albano also stated that Leclerc's frustration is completely understandable. Going from leading the race to suddenly being unable to defend position because of a power deficit creates a situation where drivers are forced to search for creative solutions that sometimes work, but can also end in major mistakes. The biggest news, of course, concerns Ferrari's plan to debut their new engine at Spa. According to reports from Auto Racer, Ferrari has already begun preparing the homologation process for their latest power unit. With several small modifications around the engine mounting area, the SF26 is reportedly ready to receive the new specification. The biggest question now is how much additional power this upgrade can actually deliver. Ferrari does not just need a small improvement. They need a major performance leap capable of significantly reducing the gap to Mercedes while keeping their hopes alive at the front of the grid. However, while focusing on the new engine, Ferrari is also facing another major threat to their 2027 project. According to a report from the race, the FIA is considering banning several of Ferrari's innovative aerodynamic elements, including the flicktail mode, or FTM system. Could Ferrari's new engine at Spa really change everything and bring them back into the fight against Mercedes this season? Write your opinion in the comments below